Well, today I'm going to show you how I do muscadine jelly. Now I've grown two kinds of muscadines this year. Well, every year I've got two kinds of vines. I've got the bronze kind, which are just wonderful. They're high sugar content and grow very well. And I've made a batch of jelly using those. You can see how pretty it is. It is kind of a gold colored and it's very pretty. What I did with those and what I'm going to do with these purple ones, these are Ison, that's a variety. Got them from Ison's nursery out of Georgia. And I used the old-timey method. I didn't use any artificial pectin. I used the formula that's from the University of Georgia Food Preservation Center. That's with the USDA. And they call for 4 cups of juice to 3 cups of sugar, and you cook it down until it reaches 220, the jelly stage. And I did some figuring on that and measuring and weighing. And what it amounts to is for every 1,000 grams of juice, you use 600 grams of sugar. So that's 60%. So you don't have to have the exact amount. You just, oh, listen how I'm popping. You just measure the juice and weigh it, and then take 60%, multiply that times 0.6, and then that's how much sugar you use, and that way you can just use whatever you've got. Now what I do, I'll wash these, and then I'll process them a little bit at a time. I will put them in this pot and cook them for about 40, bring them to a simmer of oil, and then simmer them covered for about 45 minutes. And that will help extract more of that juice and more of that acid and those tannins out so it will gel. And then I'll strain it and we'll come back and make the jelly. So what I'm going to do is wash these. We'll come back after I've washed some. I'll show you how I process them. This is a big food processor. I've seen people do it in a blender, but I used to just boil them and mash them. But this way you extract so much more of the juice and you get more of the flavor as well. So we'll come back here in just a little bit after I've washed all of these and show you how I do it in the food processor. And then we'll go on through the whole process of making jelly. Not today, because what you do is once you cook it, strain it out, then you let it sit overnight, and then the next day you can strain it again if you've got too much stuff in there. I did not, but after making all this, I don't want to do any more today. So anyway, we'll walk you through the whole process. So we'll see you back here in a few. All right. Now we've washed all those muscadines in there here, and processed most of them. Now I had a few of the white ones in there. I didn't realize that I'd thrown a few in there, so that won't hurt anything. And so process a few times, and see what it does. It's messy, but it's so much better than just trying to cook them. I'm going to kind of get this last. Boy, it's almost jelly-like now. Awesome. See how it does? Awesome. Now I may throw a little water in there and rinse that out and get all that love out of there. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Lord, I've got plenty of juice. Man, we'll make a lot of juice. Okay. Oh, wow, look at that. We'll bring this up to a boil and cook it for about 45 minutes, and then we'll strain it, and we'll be back. All right, well, yesterday we made muscadine jelly using the bronze grapes. It made a pretty jelly. I'm not so sure I like it that much. It's good, but it's really pretty. It doesn't have the same flavor profile as the purple muscadines, the old school ones. So we processed the purple ones just like we did the bronze ones in the food processor. Boil that for 45 minutes, the hulls and the juice and everything, then strained it through a fine mesh strainer, and then we ended up with beautiful lavender color juice. Now I've measured out 1,250 grams of that juice, and we have it over here boiling. You can see how it's changed color now to a beautiful kind of a purplish color. And we'll put, and as I mentioned yesterday, we use 60% by weight sugar to muscadine juice. I took the formula of that's recommended because it says cups and then of sugar and cups of juice, and I measured all that out, converted it to grams, and then that way you can create a ratio of 60% of sugar to ever how much muscadine juice you have, and you don't have to worry about it. And I'm not using Sure Gel again, I'm just using the sugar, and I put a tablespoon of lemon juice in there. Now I'm going to add 750 grams of sugar to this juice. We're going to stir it and bring it to a boil and stir it. Watch over it carefully until it reaches the jelly stage, which is 220 degrees. And then we'll jar it up. I have been processing my jars in boiling water, and then I saw somebody, and several people actually, doing it in the oven, and I thought, well, that makes sense. So I just put them in the oven at 225 degrees and process them that way. And then I'll just take them out just before it's time to pour up, and they'll be hot and they'll do a better job. See how this turned now that it's I put the sugar in there. It's going to make a beautiful jar jelly. Can't wait. All right, we're going to do this. I'll probably add just a little bit of butter to this. That keeps it from foaming. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back when it's ready, and I'll show you. All right, so I cooked the juice, the muscadine juice, and sealed them up. And the first, I had 3 batches. The last 2 did good. The first one, I brought it up to 220, but I didn't let it stay there very long enough. And so they sealed and popped, and then they were still runny after several hours. And then, so what I did, I just poured it back in the thing, and I'm going to recook it. I'm saving the lids. I'm going to try to use those again. I got those heating and got the jars in the oven, so we're going to see how that goes. Because let me show you how, when I cooked it long enough, you can see how good that jelly gelled, and it's just absolutely delicious. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna recook this up to 220. I'm gonna leave it there for about a minute or two and then jar it, and hopefully it will gel and do what it's supposed to do. And if not, we'll report back. We'll report back either way. So this is just kind of a little lesson on how to maybe fix a mistake. So we'll come back. Okay. So yesterday I showed you that had to recook some. It was almost like muscadine syrup rather than jelly. So I recooked that, put it back in a pot, got it up to 221, fluctuating between that and 222. And look, it turned out beautiful. Perfect. So it worked. So if it doesn't work the first time, go back and redo it. Get you some good jelly. So we got about 18, 19, almost 20 half-pint jars of muscadines out of that batch that I did on the purple. So a good crop. Oh, a good crop. So we're looking forward to next year. So I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you have good luck with your jelly making. All right, we're back. We just finished up yesterday our jelly and jam making for the year. So I wanted to share one last thing with you that I did just to keep the darn coons from eating having anything to eat. I decided to just go up and gather the rest of the muscadines. And so when I did, I ended up with about, I don't know, close to a gallon, about 3/4 of this little pool bucket here full of mixed muscadines. There was about a third or fourth of the bronze ones, and the rest of them were the Ison variety of the purple ones. And so my mother used to make muscadine preserve. She would take the hulls, and instead of just extracting the jelly from those, what she would do is get the seeds out and use one of these. This is called a food mill. You go in there and you turn it around, then you back it up, and it takes all the pulp out and leaves the seeds. And that's what I used, and that was my mother's. Anyway, she would do that and put the hulls in there and make the jelly, and my sons liked that, and they mentioned that. So I thought, well, I'll just try that with these. So I washed them up, and we cut them and squeezed the inside out, put that in one pan, and then put the hulls, the skins, in another pan, and kept those separate. And then when we got through with all of those, I put a little water in there so they wouldn't, didn't want them to scorch, and put the pulp in a pan and cooked that for 45 minutes. Then ran it through this food mill to extract the seeds out of it. And then I took the hulls, and put them in a food processor. And I pulsed it about 12 or 15 times until the pieces were no larger than about 1/4 of an inch. So I did that. Then I added the hulls back to the juice and the pulp that had no seeds in it, added a little water, because I ended up with, let me see here, 1,866 grams of prepared fruit, the juice and the hulls. And using the 60% formula that we did for the muscadine jelly, then we had 1,120 grams of sugar. So I brought it to a boil. The husk and the juice and the pulp, brought it to a boil, added 1,120 grams of sugar to it and stirred it, and I cooked it. And then I added the juice of 1 lemon and then thinly sliced the rind and put it in there to cook with it, to add a little acidity, a little flavor, a little brightness. And also the rinds have some pectin in it, so that helps it gel. And so I cooked that until it got to 220 exactly, not it fluctuating back and forth, because I had to recook one when I did it that way. So I was going to make sure I didn't have to recook this one. So I cooked it up to 220 where it was just a steady 220. I took the rinds out because I didn't want those in this, and then jarred it up. And it made a delicious muscadine jam. And it came out pretty thick, you can see. And you can see the little holes in there. And it is so good. Has a little chewiness in those holes, a bright acidity, then a subtle sweetness. It is so good. I'm so proud of that. I want to tell you something else. I got online, and Avery is a company that makes products for printers. And they make these little round stickers like this. They come in 12 to a sheet. And I bought these. These are, I think, 2 inches. And the number on them is 22807. So you can order that. And then you go online to their website, and they have all these different templates that match this sheet. And so you can run them through your printer. And so I printed these, and I'd like to put Muscadine Jam 2025 and put a little picture of the grape on there, grapes. And then put my name and the year, and G Fresh Kitchen. The kids call me G Fresh sometimes, so I just kind of put that on there. But anyway, it kind of makes a neat little thing for a gift, and I've got so many I'm going to enjoy giving those to people and let them enjoy it. So anyway, I just wanted to share about kind of how to make that jam, and you won't be disappointed. That little bite. Damn, it's good. Anyway, that's it for the season. And so I hope this has been beneficial to you. And we'll see you next year.